the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live. Peace.
For the Manny Pacquiao fight, you said if it were up to you, you had to...
Yeah, but that's always, I mean, look, that's maybe my ego. You know, everything that I'm selling, I believe in. And I believe it's the right choice for fighters. As I do for Mikey Garcia, as I do for Manny Pacquiao. It's just whether they feel the same way, you know, and whether they analyse it the same way I do. So
who has the ultimate decision?
Manny Pacquiao, yeah. When you get to those kind of fighters and that kind of level, Manny Pacquiao will be making this decision.
Bob Arum out of the picture?
No, I think they'll talk to Bob Arum, they'll talk to Showtime, they'll talk to Hearn, whoever, and they'll go back to Manny and they'll present the offerings and say, what do you think? And he'll make a decision.
Last five, again coming from the public. Greg Morgan says, has Luis Ortiz been considered as an opponent for Anthony Joshua down the road? Both guys are strong and technically sound fighters. I think it would be a very fan-friendly fight.
Good fight, good fight. One thing that has to be made clear is Luis Ortiz was Anthony Joshua's mandatory. The WBA called negotiations for that fight with a scheduled purse bid, and Luis Ortiz chose to fight Deontay Wilder. I'm not saying that Luis Ortiz ducked Anthony Joshua, because he didn't, but he had the chance to fight him. And when people say, oh, you wouldn't have fought him, we would have got stripped if we didn't fight him, because there would have been a purse bid. So I'm sure that it was a good deal to fight Wilder, but he was in line to fight Joshua. Luis Ortiz's stock has risen considerably after the Wilder fight, and I rate him as one of the best heavyweights in the world.
Adil asks, if Demetri Andrade wins, what's next? And would he make a Dillian White versus Gerald Miller fight?
I like that fight a lot. You'd love that fight because the numbers would be really interesting.
I think everybody.
That would be brutal. Like, you couldn't get them both up here talking. Trust me, it would go off.
Got to get the plexiglass like what you saw.
Honestly, it would be X-rated. So that's good. Danny Jacobs is in a big fight against Derevyanchenko. Obviously, you got this fight the week before. The winners of those fights could fight each other. Obviously, everybody wants to fight the winner of Canelo Golovkin as well. But I honestly see like Jacobs, Derevyanchenko, and Saunders Andrade are like two of the best matchups of 2018. So I think that middleweight division right now is red hot.
Eric Cruz in Texas says, Eddie, I'm flying out to Chicago for the Chicago card in October from Dallas. Will you be in the building, and in the future will you bring boxing to Dallas, Texas?
Yes, of course I'll be in the building, and yes, we'll be in Dallas. We want to come to places like Chicago, like Boston, like Dallas, where they haven't had major fight nights. You know, they've had boxing here before, but you get the feeling here today, people are actually excited, like they're quite thankful that you brought boxing here, so you know, I'm excited myself, and you know, I think we're going to have a great night on October 20th.
Has the Zone sent any emails, term sheets, offers to Andre Ward? No interest?
Interest, because I rate Andre Ward as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of the last 10 years.
Money usually gets people out of retirement.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, we're spinning so many plates. The problem we have is, if a couple of those plates drop, Manny Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia, we got no more space. So, like the 6 guys that we're talking to right now, these major names, we only want 2 of them max, you know? Unless the Zone turned around and went, no, actually sign the others as well, and we'll put additional, like that might happen. The Zone are the kind of business, like they want like if I went to them and said, look, we've got these 2 guys, but you know, money-wise, we don't want to, they might go and say, no, get them all. So this is what I say to people about deep pockets, you know? This is not a business that is dominated by sometimes a political structure where boxing or sport is second best. I'm talking about HBO, I'm talking about Showtime. These people are here to be aggressive and to take over in certain situations. But I have to run a business as well, you know? Like these guys would say, yeah, give him the money. Like, no. We can't just ruin the sport financially, because that was done before. So we've got to do things right. We've got to operate a great business.
Well, you've offered Mikey substantial amount of money in the media. What's up? Any finalization on that deal? Because they came out and said that, you know, they're still seriously considering Eddie, and they're just, you know, waiting for a few things. They just left it out in the open.
I had a good chat with Mikey on Sunday. He wanted to know more about the platform, more about the people behind it, which has been supplied to him. He's a smart guy. My worry is that there's certain people around him that would lose their shit if he signed with us.
Now, I don't know if you heard, but that alleged Earl Spence fight is now being pushed back. He knows my thoughts on that fight, and in terms of who wants to make. Showtime are in a bad spot because how many dates have they got to the end of the year? I don't know. 2? How many fighters have they got to get out? Gervonta Davis, Mikey Garcia, Jarrett Hearn, Charlo brothers, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman. I mean, the list goes on and on. Broner. You know, how do you do it? We're in the same situation that we were in last year, where Errol Spence won the world title in May and didn't box till January, with no injuries, with no momentum at all. This is going to be the same again, and what I'm saying to fighters is, if you don't join us and you believe that you're being told something that's going to happen that I don't believe will happen, in November, December, when you're told you're now boxing in February or March, don't come knocking at the door and saying, I knew you were right, Eddie, any room for me on the zone? Because there might not be. So, you know, we are up against it. We're in a world where everybody would love us to fail. Unfortunately, they don't know what is inside the drive and determination of the matchroom business, me personally, the zone. We're going to be the last man standing, but don't look at it as Dr. Evil. Look at it as a game. You know, look at it as competition, fun. For a fighter, it might be winning a fight. For me, it might be getting a fight. It might be getting a fight at a world championship level. That's what makes us tick. That's how we create our history and legacy. Just like you might be to grow your subscriber base, to become the #1. That's what gets you up in the morning. What gets me up in the morning is trying to be the #1 promoter, trying to fill the TD Arena on the 20th of October, trying to put great fight nights together. That's what makes me tick as an individual. So, and my drive can't be matched, in my opinion. So, if I've got the money and the drive, how are you going to beat me? But that happens over time. It doesn't just come in 3 months and we just mop up. Because when Mikey Garcia goes to certain people, they will go, don't go with Eddie Hearn. What does Eddie Hearn know? DAZN? Who are DAZN? But it's little things like this card today, like the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo in the week, one of the biggest stars in the world in sport, like signing Anthony Joshua, where people start to go, do you know what? These guys are for real. And trust me, they're for real. But it might take a little bit of time for people to see that. In the meantime, this man's going to become the WBO champion of the world. Oh yeah. What do you need to do to build credibility? Because I've been speaking with plenty of fighters.
We don't, as a business, we don't need credibility. Matchroom, as a promotional company, talk to our fighters.
I think it's more about a person, right? Because I spoke to fighters that are specifically with Al, and they're like, Al give me an advance. If I don't fight this year, Al takes care of me. You know, how do I know Eddie's going to take care of me?
Because is that what you want? Because I take care of you with fights, with activity, and with money, and with a professional business of 20 people and a promotional machine that are actually going to drive your profile. Not sitting indoors. Look, we're out there. We're on the streets. We're making things happen. We're pushing your profile. But we're giving you the fights. How are you going to create a legacy? Boxing once a year. Okay, if you don't care about legacy, you just want to have a couple of extra 100,000 for sitting out for a little bit longer. That's bullshit. That's not what boxing's about. Boxing's about fighting 3 times a year, being the best you can, trying to create a legacy, get the defences, building the profile, earning the money, banking the money. Not someone turns up and gives you some money and you go, oh, all right, call me in 3 months. Great. That's not what it's about. I believe the fighters that I talk to are sick and tired of waiting for a phone call to know the dates. Our guys get out the ring, they know when they're fighting again. Good, I've got 2 months off with my family, then I'm back in camp. Ask Danny Jacobs. Right? This is how it works for these guys. Ask Tevin Farmer when it happens to him. Ask Jesse Vargas. Ask Peterbiev. Ask Danny Roman. All these world champions we've signed. They will have that same service.
Let's ask Keith Thurman. What's up, man? Rumor still has it you guys are in talks. Are you not?
We're not in talks.
Never a conversation.
Never a conversation.
You don't want him?
Oh yeah, I want him. Yeah, but
do you perceive him as damaged goods like the rest?
No, he's not damaged goods. But the problem is when you sit out in this game, and this goes back to the conversation we just had. Your profile, it's natural, right? Like if you went on holiday for 3 months, your viewer numbers would probably dip. That's the same.
It will.
But that's the same as a fighter. So look at where Keith Thurman was. He was one of the hottest fighters in world boxing. Look who he is now. He's a forgotten man. But that can change very quickly with a little bit of hype, with a promotional machine, and getting back in the ring. Keith Thurman.
So when you flying to Clearwater?
But the problem is, we can't, like I'm saying, I'm spinning plates, and I can't sign all these guys.
But you need one marquee name.
They're coming. And it won't be one, it'll be 2 or 3. But trust me when I say, this is happening. We're not going anywhere. If Mikey Garcia doesn't sign for a November, December fight, he may sign in February or March. If Manny Pacquiao doesn't sign, Jarrett Hearn might sign. Charlo might come back and say, where's my fight? If Charlo's really happy, just bumming around with not knowing when he's fighting, doing a few GQ shoots, thinking that's great for his profile, like, you should be out there fighting. But the thing is, too many fighters make the mistake when too many promoters make the mistake. They do this press conference and they go, see you on fight week. Right? That's not what it's about. Come back to Boston. Bring the fighters to Boston individually. Look at this square. It's a perfect place to promote anything. Get Katie Taylor here. Get Andrade back to Providence doing stuff. Send a film crew over to Billy Joe Saunders. Build the narrative. Build the hype. Build the fight. So that when you turn up in the arena, you're excited for the night. And I know with cards like this, you will be getting value for money from 5 p.m. till midnight in that arena.
Last question. Either of these cards, is DAZN going to do any sort of 24/7?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan. We're going to build up.
Any release dates?
No, they're working on some stuff with Joshua right now.
Any name? Like All Access is Showtime, 24/7 is HBO?
There'll be a working title for the programming. No, but probably next week, hopefully, we're going to start announcing the presentation team. Which again, when we talk about credibility, when we announce the presentation team, everyone's going to go, fuck.
We got Larry Merchant?
No, but the guys are that ilk, you know? And guys, everything that we do adds what you call credibility. We don't need credibility, but we need to reinforce it with people who are being told lies by people. You're mad if you do that. You're going to walk away from Showtime and HBO. What, boxing once a year? We're a broadcaster that hasn't got any money.
Did we ask you already about Guillermo Rigondeaux? You don't want him?
No, we haven't spoken about it. It's
not interested.
Again, I've got so many fighters that I'm talking to. I don't. We're going to get a stage where I'm going to have to turn around and say, I'm so sorry, you missed the boat. That'd be a nice conversation to have.
Well, Eddie, man, thank you so much. You got a trip ahead of us.
Cheers,
pleasure.
Mate.
See you next time.
Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.